Hey guys, GWS here, take two. And I just I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for the past couple days, and this is pretty deep philosophically. So, if you're here for some political minded stuff, um, I probably wouldn't finish this video because it's just something that I have to get out, and it's something that means a lot to me, and that is what is wrong with our political environment and our society today. And to explain why that's important, um, here's something that I'm sure we already know, like why society should be perfect. You know, we have cut world hunger to almost nothing compared to what it used to be. We're curing diseases. Technology has expanded faster than ever. We now have more ways to interact with our entertainment than ever before. More ways and more types of ways from more places. Like you look at where smartphones are now, you look at where hell smart cars are, all the technological advancements, all the things that make society convenient for us. All this stuff that we have, and yet, if you talk to anybody in society today, people will just tell you how bad things are, how miserable they are, how things are falling apart. And I've been kind of exploring that, and I think I'm not going to claim to be Mr. Original here, but this is just my perspective. It's like, our political environment, society is just so toxic right now with anger toward each other, hatred, just the most hateful language we're saying to each other. Even normal people, like, and I participate in it too. I'm not immune to saying my fair share, maybe even more of my fair share for all I know, of hurtful things toward people. And it's like, in society, we've lost something. Like, with all the technology, all the advancements, we have lost something very fundamental with one another. The glue that kind of held us all together, if you will. And it's like, just think about something. Like, if you're my age, I'm 34, so if you're my age, around it, maybe like a little bit younger, especially if you're older, definitely, especially if you were older, because it was even more of the case with my parents and grandparents. It's like, if you wanted to be entertained or you wanted to get something, there was effort. Like, if you wanted to watch a movie, like, you couldn't just, there was no Netflix back then, there's no YouTube, um, back in the early 90s and all that. There was none of this streaming stuff. There's not even basic on-demand services. You went to the video store and you rented a movie. You know, and just think of all that's involved in that. Like, you're getting your friends or your family or, you know, coworkers, what have you, and you're going as a group and you're looking through this video store to see, you know, what you want to get. Like, even if you were just like watching cable, it was like there used to be a term. I mean, I'm sure most are familiar with it today. Um, channel surfing, was the way to find emergent entertainment back then. It wasn't just something people say for, I'm just watching TV. You literally were surfing through the channels and trying to find something to watch because you didn't have like these interactive guides or any of that. You had a TV guide channel, but you didn't have, like, unless you were wanting to wait for the thing to scroll through, then you were going to flip through those channels. And I know when my parents were growing up, they had just a couple of channels. When I was growing up, we had early years, we maybe had 25 to 30, um, including movie channels, and then it exploded from there. But I was like, that's what you did. It took effort to do. Like, when you're talking about gaming back then, like, you didn't have of course, an online matchmaking system. You literally had to go through effort to get somebody to play with if you wanted to play a multiplayer game. Like, they, like I said, no matchmaking, so you either have to go to a friend's house, ask if they want to play something, or you talk to your brother or whoever else plays games in your house, and you do that. And it's like, with all of these things, and those things, like, because that's what we did when we were young. Like, we went to video stores, and um, you know, we had, we were pretty big gamers, like my brothers and I. So it's like, that's what we did. And I mean, even if that doesn't relate to you, it's like, I think what we've lost in the technology is the fact that we are so concerned, everybody is, with results, the results of life, like, what our net worth is, like how much we're earning compared to how much we were earning yesterday, how big our house is compared to how big it was yesterday, you know, what possessions we have, like where, even something as simple as, like, our level of knowledge, our level of expertise. Like, we're so focused on what we have and where we want to go that I think we've just all lost the journey. And that journey is the glue that holds people together. And that's that's what we've lost. We've lost the ability to connect with one another. And I say this as somebody who finds it very difficult, let's just say, to connect with people. But it's like society as a whole has lost this. And this is the thing that I think we need to start focusing on, is we need to focus on creating journeys again. Focus on not the easy and convenient aspects of life, but once we've got that down, humanity needs to get to a point where we're putting effort into something. It could be space travel. It could be some kind of other interactive entertainment. Um, and I don't think making things more convenient is the problem, but it's the problem that we've lost the desire to put effort into anything. Like, we don't just move on to from these effortless things. It's like when you're working a job, right? Um, like, you're working a job. They start you with the basics. Like, if you're working like as a janitor or something, they may start you off on bathrooms, and then they'll say, like, um, expand your responsibilities as you go. Same with any other job you get. Like, they're not gonna put everything on you at first, but it's like, as your current responsibilities require less effort, more is put on you. And I think that's what we need to start valuing as a society again is once we're able to do these things without effort, that's not the sign of, let's live life with less effort involved. That's a sign of let's expand. Let's use our collective minds, our collective wisdom to decide on a direction, if nothing else, if for ourselves. But, like, not necessarily as a collective defined by a government, but a collective where a leader amongst us finds another direction. Like I said, could be space travel, could be a lot of things, but where we can advance, where we can go on a journey. For me, it's just getting closer to God. To me, that's one of the most important things. It's just because that requires more effort than anything. Because that's one thing where it's like, we have all these conveniences and yet, it's hard. Having a relationship with God is extremely hard. And I think that's where a huge amount of the effort went, is when, you know, we stopped getting closer to God. And I know for me personally, there's a lot of churches who it's like, you know, Sunday worshipers, like people who love God on Sundays, but only on Sundays, and then just don't think about Him throughout the rest of the week. And it's like those churches turn a lot of people off, and for a long time turned me off. But you know, it's not an excuse to abandon God, and it's not an excuse to live in a secular way. Because, yeah, if you live a secular lifestyle, you're going to, you might get better results because your efforts, um, you know, it takes away that effort. But while you're doing that, you're taking away the very thing that gives people humanity. That effort, that journey, that connection. When you have worked hard on something and you have been passionate about something, and you're taking that away, a huge part of it. And you know, once you take that away, that you can have all the money, all the knowledge, all the expertise, all the results you want, but you're going to be miserable because we are designed both biologically, biologically by God as high effort creatures. Like, that's how we're wired. We're wired to strive for something. And by trying to make things easier and not replacing that effort, all we're doing is we're making ourselves miserable. But anyhow, I just want to share that it's nothing special. I don't expect anybody to really care, but it's like, these are just my feelings, and I just felt like, I just want to put that out there. Anyhow, thanks for listening, guys, and God bless.